Hello, everyone. So, Zombie's going to be joining us hopefully shortly, but I have a lot of exotic stuff to do. Some that you won't see on camera, however. Oh, there she is. Add to stream. Hello, add to stream. Hello there.
Hello there.
That's like been our signature greeting, just hello there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ewan McGregor. There we go.
Mm-hmm. And his uncle.
Right, Sir Alec Guinness.
Yes.
Right, and I have someone already trying to escape. No, I boop you on the head. Trying to get. Oh, say hello to my fingers.
Hello, fingers.
Before I actually give them their food, I'm going to write it down on my little whiteboard. I already got the females squared away. Gotta get the boys, and then the babies. Meanwhile, Quasi right over here is just straight up chilling. He's like, I already know what's coming. Okay, what's on the menu today? We got.
Someday you should have rave lighting.
I have. Speaking of that, funny enough, I actually do have an old light fixture that came from, to be honest, a really crappy beta tank, but it had like almost. I don't want to say a strobe feature, but it changed colors.
I'm just looking at their antennae going. It's like do 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 do.
Right, like Q in Darude Sandstorm. You know,
Yep.
right, green leaf, Taurus. And the main reason, Zombie already knows this, but the main reason I write down what the hissers are eating, so at least like if something happens to me, I get sick or or up on vacation, like for emergency purposes, someone could look at that whiteboard and be like, okay, they can eat these items.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier. All right. Cilantro. Papaya. Cantaloupe. Which I'm pretty sure I spelt wrong, but.
Excuse me.
Kiwi. And everybody on my channel knows I spoil the hissers to death, essentially. It's just like they get the best of the best food.
I need to get some fresh leaves for the isopods. I mean, they have like multiple like feeding tablets in there, so it's not a huge rush, but I would like to give them some fresh stuff to munch on.
Right. Have some variety, which is always good when it comes to any animal, really.
Oh, Angie twerk.
Oh, you saw an Angie twerk?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love the males. All right, boys. Now you can calm down. Food's coming. I promise. I put in a lot of. Well, I had a head of lettuce that was starting to go bad, so I saved all the good leaves. I saved a lot apparently, but they will go through lettuce like it's nothing. So, so a lot of greens today. So they are definitely bug moose today.
Yes. Oh, they have been summoned.
Oh yeah, because they've had dog food for the past like 3 days, so we're over this. Some good old papaya, some cantaloupe, some kiwi.
I'm glad I actually managed to get sleep this time.
Right, you didn't wake up at the witching hour.
Yeah.
We'll put this orange over here. Actually, I'm going to move this hut a little bit. Don't yell at me, hissers. Here, put this in front of the hut. Wow, actually, yeah, I'm going to give the females a little bit more too because there's way too much left in my container to give to the babies. Like, way too much. Like, I know they won't go through all that. Which, good chance to. Oh, I see a baby. That guy moved. I pulled up the stream on my computer and immediately I heard my own voice and I got scared. It's like,
You're like,
who the fuck is that? Oh, it's me. Oh, there's multiple babies that gotta be moved. Oh, I see 3. I think just 3. See if I can find the Irish triplets. Oh, I heard a little baby is. Oh, I see one of the Irish triplets. I see a second one. And a third. There we go. Which that's been a running joke is that I've only had 3 newborn hissers born in the month of March. And so they've been dubbed the Irish triplets.
Yes.
And one of them is named Tinkerbell. The other one is Brownie. The other one, I cannot remember the name, but starts with a B.
Brownie, Sprite, and Bogart.
There we go. All right. Hey. All right, now I gotta do baby wrangling. So a lot of me yelling. Hey, get back over here. Oh, I got you. All right. Let me see your vent. Let me see your vent. Oh, you're a little boy. Right, pretty much like I need to see your cloaca. Oh, she's a little boy.
Oh, you little boy?
Yep, we got another little boy. I could put you right with the other boys. Oh, I want to show you up to the camera, but you're being a little booger. There he is.
Good gracious, he's tiny. Compared to the others.
Right, compared to the other males, he is tiny. Oh, good. One of the other ones is in the roach rations container thingy in here. I can easily grab you. Ah, gotcha. Okay, let me see your vent. Let me see your vent. What's your gender? Another boy. Oh, we got. I think it's another. Yep, it's another boy. Oh, we got 2 boys. All right. Put you, sir, little man. Really?
Mm-hmm.
The food's that way. The food is right over there. There you go. Go get some lunch. All right, there's one more in here that I saw. Oh, there you are. Get over here. Come on. Get over here. All right, I got you. Oh. I think female. I have to like get you to stand still. Yep, she's a little girl.
Oh, you will, girl?
I'm not going to hold her in front of the camera because my luck, she will yeet herself into the mail enclosure and I'll never see her again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put her over here in the transfer cup. Little girl going there. All right, before I start taking some of this old food, I'm going to make sure those are the only 3 I got to move. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Only 3 have to move. Alrighty. It's like also impromptu hisser relocation.
Yes.
All right, put all the old food in here. Oh, hello. I lifted up the little kidney bowl that I keep the dry roach rations in, and there's like 4 babies underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, children. I need you to relocate, children. Children. They're like, we don't want to leave. Here, children. Okay. is after I get the roach rations out, I'm gonna clean out this bowl with my vinegar solution. All right, let's not do the vinegaring over the baby bin. That'd be great. All right. So you have to make more vinegar solution. I'm almost out in this little spray bottle. Ooh! Smells like malt and vinegar chips.
That's a bad thing.
I'm not used to malt and vinegar.
I love vinegar, at least when I can get it. That's why I have my emotional support pickles.
Right, that big old jar.
Fun fact, everybody, Zombie has a giant gallon jar of pickles, pickle chips.
Oh yeah, I saw that thing last night. It was very comical. Wipe this out real good. There we go. Just back in here. Here, I'm surrounded by animal supplies right now. It's actually kind of funny. Hey, why do I hear tussling? Oh. Someone's eating the orange. There we go.
Ugh.
Ooh, excuse me. All right. There's some leafy greens in there.
Still can't wait to get my isopods.
Right.
More isopods.
Your buttload of isopods. Your whole army of isopods.
Yes. Because I've been trying to start a isopod culture to really get the reptile cages I have underway. And right now, I'm going to assume there's like 30 in there. And my my Nana was super, super nice and decided to get me more isopods. And she got me like all of the isopods.
Right. I mean, shout out to Nana L, you know?
Mm-hmm. That is like so many isopods. I'm actually legitimately like considering feeding one to Gwen. So she at least has something to eat that also is not contaminated.
Right. Something that's, a clean food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The surplus of that's going to go to the adult females. The babies are squared away.
Because I've been fasting her right now to make sure that any unclean food is out of her system.
Yeah. And also, today is feeding day for Mr. Mary the snail.
Oh, the shell pupper?
Mm-hmm. He's gonna get an algae wafer.
Mm-hmm.
A whole kind of one algae wafer.
Y'all got them algae wafers.
Mm-hmm. Whew. And omega-1 algae wafers sure do stink because they actually have fish meal in them.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of remind me, I used to take care of aquatic pets, and one of them was, actually, I took care of a lot of tank leaders that needed algae wafers. The like little food pellets that I give the isopods and the springtails really remind me of those.
Right, that's kind of what they look like to me. They look like little algae wafers.
Mm-hmm. And there's like 3 or 4 of them in the enclosure right now.
Oh yeah, so they're good on food.
They are good on food. And I'm probably going to get more of them because what I like to do is I like to whenever I get new isopods, I like to like leave them in their travel deli cups overnight after checking on them, misting them down, and giving them some food.
Yeah.
They will. So I'm gonna have so many isopods. I'm gonna be silly with isopods.
I mean, hey, we were talking about sending me some once you get the culture going. Since I'm sending you some ladies, you send me some isopods.
Mm-hmm. And I mean that would work because I've kept the boxes that my bugs came in. I don't know why. I just felt like I would need them for some reason.
You're like, I don't know why, but I know I'm gonna need these.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that one male hisser is like, oh, the sweet food of the gods.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any apples, so we won't be able to see them go ham over an apple.
I'm gonna have to sterilize Gwen. Hope she should be fine.
Yeah. I'm starting to see hissers come out of the woodwork out of the fake plants over here. I just see a bunch of antennas going boop, 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 boop.
But yes, reminder everybody, Zombie has a black widow.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Gwen. She is a wild-caught, unmated black widow.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she has had wild-caught food, so I do want to make sure that she's nice and as clean as I can get her before I introduce her to the isopod culture, because I don't want something that she's carrying just wiping out the entire isopod culture.
Right.
But from what I understand, spiders tend not to be vectors for disease, even to other arthropods. So I mostly just have to focus on whatever is on her person.
Right. Like whatever is on her physically, like the outside, the exoskeleton.
Yeah, her exoskeleton, whether it's like, any pathogens, fungal spores, anything like that.
Oh, I see a little boy going hard on that lettuce right over here. Oh, and I hit the lamp. Great.
I want to get the isopod culture off the ground. I just don't know where to put it.
Right. Another reason I need to be over there, I can help you set up the office / reptile room.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's not a lot of places for it to go.
Well, hey, Lisa. Lovely Lisa is back for our exotic shenanigans.
What's up? Yeah, hopefully I can sterilize Gwen, put her in there, and she can be on population control when this thing explodes.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna explode because especially like the powder isopods, like the oranges, the blues, especially the oranges, will boogie on real quick, and then you have like a million isopods.
Mm-hmm. So Gwen will be very needed.
Oh yeah. That's one spider that's gonna be real fat and happy.
Yeah. Of course, that will mean I have to be extra careful with her because spiders. I mean, if she gets too fat, she could hurt herself pretty easily.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever free handle her.
Yeah, like on the extreme rare occasions.
Because, like, I'm confident with handling smaller spiders and really big spiders like tarantulas. It's the, like, in between size spiders that I'm really not comfortable with handling.
Yeah.
With free handling because they're really, like, they teleport.
Hmm.
How long do spiders live? It depends on the spider. They can live anywhere from, like, a couple years, like a black widow. I think black widows at maximum live like 3 years. Um, and then you have your tarantulas, your female tarantulas, which can live 30 years. Um, like it really depends. But my black widow is going to live about 2 to 3 years if I keep her properly. Um, and I did get her as a subadult or a juvenile, hence why I said she was not mated. Um, so I do have like a good 3 years um to have her.
Hmm.
30 years for tarantulas. They can live an extremely long time.
More so the females. The males can live like
Yeah,
10.
the males don't live very long.
Yeah, the females, it seems like they live forever. Like they can live very long.
So black widows do have a reputation for being incredibly venomous. However, they are actually not as venomous as as news outlets and media would lead you to believe. You should still like get to a hospital and get anti-venom if you get bitten by one. But it's not like this. It's not the lethal, world-ending bite that seems to be that a lot of people seem to think happens. And that's if they bite you, because black widows are pretty reluctant to bite, actually. Very reluctant, actually. Their first line of defense is to run, and their
Oh
second
yeah.
line of defense is to play dead.
Hmm.
Gwen did that when I caught her. I tried to catch her, and she was like, "I did." She is not dead. She was just playing dead. Biting for a spider is a last resort because they use their venom to catch their food. So any venom they use on you is a meal that is missed for them.
And the
So
same thing goes with the snakes as well, because it takes a
yeah,
lot of energy to create that venom. And if they waste it on uh, defending themselves, it's energy that's just been wasted on what they could have used to catch food.
yep. And creating venom is a very energy intensive process, and spiders have that twofold because they also create webbing.
Hmm.
And webbing is another resource intensive process for them. So they're most of them are very picky about using their venom or biting people. There are some though that will like go after you. But black
AKA
widows are
the
not one of
orange.
those. Black widows are very shy, reclusive, and gentle spiders, despite their reputation.
Meanwhile, you have the orange baboon tarantula, which will fight you aggressively.
So brown recluses can do that. Generally, the reason on the whole, brown recluses don't really, their venom is not that potent. However, there tends to be an abnormally high percentage of people who are allergic to their venom. And that's where the necrosis comes in because it's an allergic reaction. I can confirm that this is a thing because I'm allergic to wasp venom, and that's what happens to me if I get stung by a wasp.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, brown recluses are one of the few spiders I actually will kill on sight. Because they are very squirrely, very anal, and are it's pretty certain they will bite you. I'm not even like that with hobo spiders. In fact, hobo spiders can actually be very nice spiders. But that doesn't really happen unless somebody is allergic to the venom. And so I wouldn't really worry about that happening to you unless you're allergic.
Yeah, if you're allergic, that's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother issue to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
God, that reminds me of the one time at my job. I saw a spider. I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick him up, take him outside. I'm free handling the spider. My general rule is, at least for me, if I do not know the species, I do not free handle it. I decided to free handle it without really taking a look at it first. Then when I took a look at it, I realized it was a male brown recluse. I'm like, oh, I fucked up. But luckily, this spider was fairly chill. I think because it was a younger male.
Yeah, male spiders tend to be um male spiders tend to be more placid than female spiders. I mean, when it comes to animals like tarantulas, most of your females, at least old world female spiders, are going to be baby dolls. Like they are so sweet. Um not not so for the old world ones.
Oh no, like one of my favorite old world species, the Goody ornamental sapphire. Beautiful electric blue tarantula. This thing is like grease lightning, and it has the personality to match.
Yep.
It's a tarantula that you buy to put on display. You do
Yeah,
not touch.
it's a very much a look and don't touch kind of spider.
Mhm. But like if you want a spider that you're able to handle and interact with, go with a New World tarantula, like the Mexican red knee, perfect example.
Mm-hmm. Even your larger ones, like Goliath bird eaters. Goliath bird eaters are more nervous than most of your New World tarantulas, but they're not really prone to biting. Um, though that said, I really would not recommend that you handle a Goliath bird eater, not because they're like really anal or bitey, but because they are so big that if you drop them, it could seriously hurt them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you could rupture their abdomen, and it's fatal. It's bad.
even if and even if they don't rupture their abdomen, the thing is that spiders are not their blood is unable to clot, and so if they suffer any internal injury, they will actually hemorrhage to death.
Hmm.
And Goliath bird eaters are at especially high risk for that because they're so big and so heavy. Um, so unless you're just like the most I would do with a Goliath bird eater is just let it walk over your hands, because they're just it's too risky for them, for you to pick them up and like carry them.
Hmm.
Oh, my dad stepped on a wasp nest. That was fun for him.
Yeah, I can only imagine his reaction. Oh, that's good,
Yeah,
Lisa.
that's a good place to start. I have been around tarantulas and spiders. My stepdad actually bred tarantulas and black widows, and kept them as pets and kept different ones as pets, throughout my life. And so I have been immersed in spiders pretty much since I was like 6 years old.
Mm.
um, and so it's just like the idea of having a fear of spiders is not really. I never developed that fear, but I can understand why other people have it. They are really hairy. In fact, the hairs are something you should be more worried about than their fangs,
Oh,
because especially tarantulas, I forget what the hair. I want to call them guard hairs, but they're not guard hairs. But
irritating hairs.
yes,
Mhm.
they have these long hairs on their rump, and they're like porcupine quills. They're really irritating. They can get stuck in your hands. And if they're threatened, they will turn around and slough it off with their arms and like shoot them at you. And it is not fun to deal with. It's like being stuck by a tiny, tiny porcupine.
Yep, it's actually a more it's a better defense than their actual venom, really.
Yeah.
Because especially if a predator is obviously trying, nip at a tarantula and they kick off those hairs, that's going to stop that predator immediately because that shit's going to go into their nose, their
Their
lungs.
eyes, their mouth.
Mhm. So that's an instant, oh crap, I got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually the bigger hazard with handling a spider as big as a Goliath bird eater, because they are big, those hairs are huge.
And don't be like someone that we know and actually put one on his face.
Oh my god.
Could have closed that can of worms back in. All right. We've already ranted about him last time.
Mm-hmm. No, I was worried more for the spider than for him, because again, like I said, Goliath bird eaters, you really should not handle them because of how heavy they are,
Mm-hmm.
and how it can really hurt them if they fall. Don't walk around with one on your face. That spider falls, it will die.
Yep. I love how this turned into a Q&A, which I'm all for, definitely.
Yeah, for real. I don't mind. I love spiders.
And since I figured out how to put comments on screen, I could put the questions on screen. So it's like a TED Talk.
Mm-hmm. I am really glad that Gwen is unmated, because Gwen, like Black Widows especially, are very fierce mothers.
Oh yeah, they're good mamas.
They are. They're very good mamas, and so they are extremely spicy when it comes to their egg sacs. And I know this because my stepdad had to harvest them from the spiders, and they would just go after the tongs. They would just like attack. Sometimes he would have to like put a barrier between the mother Black Widow and his tweezers just to safely remove them. I don't have to deal with that, luckily, because I got Gwen at such a young age that there's no way she's mated.
Right. And like we talked about last night, she would have given birth by now.
Mm-hmm.
She would have had that egg sac.
Mama Willow, however, is definitely a mama. She hasn't laid eggs yet, but she is chunky.
Yeah.
And she just moves around. When she moves around, it's just like, I'm hot and pregnant. Leave me alone.
I mean, speaking of mamas, I'm holding one of the OG mamas of almost all these babies. It's Lucille.
No.
Because I don't think she's gravid. I hope she's not gravid anymore. But as a safety precaution, I put her in the baby bin, so she did start, like, spitting out babies. They would at least be in there, and I didn't have to go, hunting for them.
Yeah.
But Lucille's a bit of a celebrity around here because she is my original Hisser ambassador, and she's been held by a lot of folks in my area, and she's a very, very sweet girl.
It's so fascinating how, I mean, it's just like if exotics are your special interest, suddenly all your animals become ambassador animals.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what my animals have become.
Mm-hmm. Because especially if they're your animals, you know how they behave, you know how they act and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and all of my snakes are really sweet. You don't have to worry about any of them biting you.
Oh, I hope you have fun, Lisa. I would love to go on an estate sale one day. That would be actually kind of fun.
You never been to a estate sale?
Nope.
Wow.
Do you realize where I live? I mean, you go
I
you
don't
go
know.
out to the West End, and
My mom was big into like garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, even just free stuff on the side of the road, BOGO sales.
I was about to say, that sounds like your mom. No, my
Yeah.
little Lucio's doing so good.
Yeah.
Because I've had actually, yeah, I've had both Lucille and Carolyn for almost a year now. Ever since 2 months into that year, babies.
Mm-hmm.
But right now she doesn't look ravenous. She looks skinny. See if I can do this without accidentally dropping her in with half of these are her sons. So oh, okay, she doesn't want me to. I'm not going to force her. But she's not pudgy, which is a good thing because
Mm-hmm.
you've been pumping out babies. But she's a good mama though. Even though hissers, funny enough, once they give birth, they do not give a shit about their young.
Oh yeah.
But but she's good mama though. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's always been a sweetheart.
Mm. I will say
Yeah,
though, planning and keeping, exotics can be exhausting.
oh yeah.
Not as exhausting as like a dog, but I think the most exhausting part of it just comes from the research, all the research and supplies you need.
Oh yeah.
Because not everybody carries that supplies.
Hmm.
You may have to get like 14 different things from like 20 different websites.
Sounds about right.
However, I am mildly hype for fish keeping again, assuming I don't kill the fish.
I think you'll do fine. You're doing everything you need to be doing, and that's doing the research, which is amazing.
Yeah, hopefully this young grasshopper with your teaching shall not fail.
Right. But exotics keeping can be exhaustive. You could be like in my situation. You originally have 4 adult female hissers. Next thing you know, you have 120 plus because 2 of those females are extremely gravid.
And it can also be expensive. I mean, even though the animals themselves are low maintenance, their supplies can be quite expensive. Like Castiel's paludarium is probably going to cost in the thousands overall.
Oh yeah, once everything's said and done, yeah, a couple $1,000s, if not more.
Yeah. Of course, once I've got that thing set up, I'll never really, it'll be like extremely low maintenance as things go.
Mm-hmm.
But, um, It's expensive. It requires a ton of research because the research for that stuff is not readily available. And yeah, it's exhausting. Been having to do that recently.
Yeah, you've been having to do all kinds of research, homework, all that for essentially all of your enclosures. Like shit.
I mean, the isopod culture is technically my first bioactive enclosure, but my real testing of the waters is going to come with Otto's enclosure.
Oh yeah,
Because he's going to get upgraded to bioactive first. Like the minute that I have enough, the minute that I'm comfortable with that I have an established isopod colony, I am going to and move his closure over to bioactive. I mean, I'll have to do it like slowly because it's going to be expensive, but I should be fine.
yeah. I think you will be too.
And thank you, Snake Discovery, for reminding me that grapevine and cork bark exist. Because like I've been having such a difficult time finding hides big enough for Otto. And I was like, oh yeah, I could just get like one of those.
Right.
Like a big one of those.
Yeah, because Otto's a chunky monkey.
He's big now, guys. Like he is chunky.
That other night when you were showing off the isopods and you just pan over to Otto's enclosure and he's halfway out of the hide because he's a big old chonker.
You know what's funny? He can actually squeeze himself in there when he wants to.
Oh, he's just being lazy.
Yeah, he was just being lazy. But yeah, he's getting big. His enclosure, his current hide is getting too uncomfortably small for him, in my opinion. So I mean, I feel really bad for how I'm keeping them right now, but you know, it's just like I keep telling myself they're gonna be living like kings soon.
Right. It's like with these males here. Well, I think everybody knows for the most part that I'll be starting a new job soon, hopefully getting paid better, and so I'll be able to upgrade the boys here to a bigger enclosure. They need it and they deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing with Otto. Otto is actually not going to be too bad. I have most of what I need for his enclosure, at least to start off with. But I will need, like I want to get a pothos plant. By the way, guys, if you want to have a bioactive enclosure but not have to spend too much on plants, get yourself a pothos plant or a philodendron because they can go absolutely crazy.
Right.
And so you look like you have a bunch of foliage when you really just have one plant.
You just have one plant that is just taken over in a good way. If you want the mint of the bioactive world. Because mint, you give it an inch, it's going to take over your whole garden.
Can confirm.
I mean, at your old place, I remember you sending me photos of these mint leaves that looked like they came out of fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, they were like huge. They were like this. They were like the size of my hand.
It's like that's not a fucking mint leaf. That's a fucking fern. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Otto a pothos plant and an orchid.
Ooh.
To put in his enclosure. I will tell anybody who wants to get a pothos plant though, you have to be aware they are poisonous if consumed, and they can be a skin irritant if you get it on your skin. So if you have something like a beardy or a turtle, do not get this plant.
Yeah, because they're gonna want to eat it.
It's harmless to isopods though, apparently. Which I find odd, but they're not affected by it, so it is safe to have an enclosure with them. I was a little worried about that because I was like, well, what if they eat it and I have a mass die-off in his enclosure? But nope, it is isopod safe.
I actually found out the other day because a couple of the leaves on my growing bell pepper plants in my aero garden are getting really big. And so I clipped like 2 of them and I put them in the enclosure with the female hissers and they ate them. I was like, oh, cool. So
Right.
when I have to scale back the plants a little bit, at least I'm not throwing away the foliage. I can just feed it to the hissers.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'm not going to do that with my plants because they stay outdoors, which I've actually need to start bringing them outdoors
I know.
because it's getting warmer.
Another special interest, activate gardening.
Yes. I mean, I'm sort of like on a hiatus from gardening right now because I just have so much going on. But I do still have 2 Trinidad scorpion plants.
Oh, yes.
They are very they're doing well. They're still alive.
I'm over here trying to adjust the camera a little bit. And I put Lucille down. She's just kind of walking around like, okay, I go on stroll. That's the thing about Lucille. She's extremely well behaved for a hisser.
Oh, there's one that munch on a cantaloupe.
Yep. And there's one right here. You can see the antennas, but he's eating some lettuce.
That remind me of Goldfish Dad that I've been like using part of my research. He likes to feed peas to his goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
And he like narrates it, and it's so funny.
Right, peas are really good for goldfish diets, and it helps keep them regular. Even though I swear goldfish don't need help to be regular; they're always regular.
Right? It's just like you better hope to stay busy if you keep goldfish.
Oh yeah, any species of carp, they're going to shit the house. Like they're just crapping machines.
And also, you're gonna need a lot of room for them because a lot of people think goldfish don't get that big. No, they get huge. And they get so huge that you're gonna need like a small pond to keep them. That's just one goldfish. They're not as big as a koi fish can get, but they still get huge.
Oh yeah, like your smallest koi is still gonna be like your biggest goldfish. They're still big. Which I would love to have a koi pond. Oh my god,
they are so cute.
I know they're adorable little mermaid toddlers.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, Lucille. I love you too.
We still need to do a live stream update on a cast sometime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, once I actually get my new schedule, we could figure it out then.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I'm kind of just figuring out what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, I mean, Tuesday's gonna be lit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give a shit on Tuesday. I've already started to go down that slope, and my boss has noticed that, and she jokingly called it out. She's like, "Yeah, your brain's already out the door here." I'm like, "Yep."
Like you assume it was ever in the door in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have one of my other coworkers who you've already heard this story, but my coworker that said it was extremely selfish of me to leave the job, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" It's like I'm not allowed to leave. No.
I can't wait to get my girlies.
I know, right?
And yes, guys, I'm going to I'm going to get some hissers from Christine, and they are going in the isopod enclosure. Now, you may have just heard that I am putting my Black Widow in the isopod enclosure. We specifically looked for hissers that were too big for my Black Widow to take on.
Also, another upside is that hissers are built like tanks. Even
They
Lucille
are,
here is built like a tank.
and that's another thing I was like worried about. Like Black Widow webs can be very strong, but I needed a like if I have big healthy hissers, they should have no problem dealing with her, and she won't want to deal with them because they will just be like too big.
Too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
Which I can already tell you, Daisy's gonna be too much of a hassle for Gwen.
Oh
Daisy in particular. Daisy's a little shit. It's like every time I bring her out, it's like, Daisy, what the hell?
Very much like her namesake.
Yep.
And I was thinking, like, in case Gwen passes away, like, are there any spiders I'd want to get? It's so difficult because, like, most of the spiders available are tarantulas, and tarantulas are big enough to take on hissers.
Oh yeah, their fangs are big enough to pierce that exoskeleton with no problem.
Yeah, and so it's just like I really just hope Gwen lives long enough to be put in the enclosure.
Yeah.
Because she would be perfect for the setup. She would just sit there and vibe with her web.
Exactly.
That was the other thing. It's like there were smaller wandering spiders, and I was like, I would rather not deal with that. I do have other Black Widows out in the garage though. I don't want an adult, but
you don't want to possibly grab a female.
Yeah. Like if I took in Miss Willow, I swear she's about to pop any day.
Right. It's like the moment you put her in the enclosure, next thing you know, you have an egg sac. You're like, oh crap.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, guys, don't go fetching wild caught spiders if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I have been working with spiders since I was like 6 years old, so I know how to deal with them. I know how to handle them. I know how to take care of them. Don't go gallivanting and fetch yourself a spider if you don't know what you're doing. And also, do not feed your spider wild caught insects. They not only can carry diseases and infections, but they can also carry pesticides if you don't know if they came from a pesticide free environment. So it's just like this. Feeding them wild caught bugs is bad. Getting a wild caught spider, ill advised if you don't know how to take care of one.
That's funny. You've been working with spiders since you were 6. I've had experience with at least the venomous snakes in my state for almost 30 years. Because I caught my first copperhead when I was a 4-year-old child. Don't ever do that, children. Very bad idea. I was lucky I wasn't bit.
Yep.
My dad and my brothers had a good old laugh about him, and my mom was scared shitless. Because I brought this copperhead into the house and said, "Look, I caught a snake." Yep. But pretty much, unless you know what you're doing, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I would help my stepdad with his spiders. He always had like at least 4 Black Widows. All of them were wild caught. And they were all mated females. And he would, they would lay their egg sacs, and he would harvest the egg sacs. And depending on how much room he had, he would either cull them by putting them in the freezer, or he would hatch them and sell the offspring. And he did that with tarantulas as well. He didn't. He only had one wild caught tarantula, but he did breed tarantulas too.
That reminds me, the next time I see a giant Asian mantis, I'm gonna nab her.
Yeah, make sure
Because they're invasive. Yeah, because they're invasive in my area. Well, they're invasive in the United States, but I definitely have another enclosure to house one, and I got plenty of fucking babies to feed.
I don't know if black widows are invasive here. I don't think they are. I do know I have a ton in the garage.
They're native to North America, so
they're native. They're native to North America. It's just like I'm not sure if they're terribly prevalent here in New Mexico, but I have a ton of them.
You're like, I have a shit ton.
Like I have one in captivity, and the rest are out in my garage.
Yep.
There's even more out there now. It's really funny because I don't care. I don't care that they're. In fact, I actually think it's a good thing to have them because less bugs.
Right. I mean, having spiders is not necessarily a bad thing in your house because they are insect mousers essentially.
Yeah, they are. And black widows are very good at catching food. But it's like, it's so funny, like telling other people that, like the look of horror on their faces when I say it's just like, yeah, I think I have like 20 black widows in my garage. And I'm like, oh my God. I'll just be like, what? It's like, if I need to get somewhere where a black widow is, I just shoo it off.
Right, because they'll readily move because they don't want to fight. They want to run.
Yeah. Like you so much as approach them and they're like, ah!
They're like, the giants are here!
Like Willow has a little leaf that she hides under.
No, that's so cute.
She has a leaf in her web that's like tucked against a corner, and so if she's scared, she would like go hide under the leaf. And I'm just like, oh no, I don't see you. I don't see you at all.
It is funny to tell like friends and coworkers if they ask how many pets I have. I'm like, well, I have about 120, give or take, a dozen. Like, wait, what? It's like, oh yeah, I keep Madagascar hissers, and I start showing pictures. They're like, whoa, what the? Like, yes.
Or for me, they're just like, oh my God, you have like 20 black widows in your garage and you haven't gotten rid of them. I'm just like, no, they're my friends. They're my unofficial pets.
You're like, these are my roommates, but they just live in the garage.
Yeah. And I'm not so worried about them being in the house. I mean, I would remove them from the house because of Joey.
Yeah.
I don't want her getting bit. But like, I remember in my old room, I had like like spiders all over my room. But they were not wandering spiders, so I just let them vibe. Because like they don't bother you if you don't bother them. And I have done that, and I have been around spiders all my life, and I have never gotten bit. I mean, knock on wood, but
right. It's like, meanwhile, I could say that I have cockroaches, but they are exotic.
They're exotic. They're not house roaches.
Oh God.
I learned like relatively recently that house roaches are very juicy.
Oh, delicious.
Because like I killed it and it just was everywhere, and I was like, God damn it.
I mean, Just imagine something the size of Judy in that situation.
Nope. I don't want to clean up that mess.
That's why I joke around saying that hissers are the forbidden nougat, because unfortunately I have seen some videos of folks stepping on hissers because there's assholes out there. And yeah, it looks like nougat.
Yeah, just.
Yep. It's like, you want to talk about juicy? Here's the forbidden nougat.
Yes.
Is that right, Lucille? Oh, blurry Lucille.
I mean, I have unfortunately seen spiders explode from being dropped.
Oh yeah, that's not a good time either.
Yeah. Because you don't work with spiders that long without like seeing spiders die. Sometimes horribly.
Yep.
Still remember Piggy the hobo spider.
Oh yeah, big old chonky baby ate anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, she was the garbage disposal of spiders.
Mm.
And it's like, if you got, it's like, I didn't know a fat hobo spider could be a thing, but she got fat. Yeah, and she would eat anything. She even ate earthworms.
My God. Are we sure that wasn't Joey in a past life somehow?
Right. I would, except that I had Joey at the time.
Oh, someone's calling for Joey in the chat. Joey, you has a fan.
Joey. I just saw the blanket move.
No. Oh no.
She's like, I'm taking a nap.
Right. She's like, it is my nap time.
She's like, I'll bug you later. Huh, bug
Right.
you. Man. I am still so happy to have Black Widows again. I missed Black Widows.
Right.
Like, I cannot tell you how, like the noises I made when I realized I had Black Widows in my garage were not human. And I mean that in a good way.
Right. The inhuman squeals.
Mm-hmm. Remember going, and I it was Gwen and another Black Widow, and I was like, could it be? I was like, let me see your belly.
You're like me with the baby hissers. Let me see your vent. Let me see your vent. I need to know your gender. Except you didn't need to know the gender of a Black Widow because it's very apparent.
Yeah, and then I saw the red hourglass on on her belly, and I was like, ah.
You're like, this home is perfect.
Right. Like I missed Black Widows so much because they're not native and they don't exist in Washington State. And of course I was never allowed to keep a spider officially at my parents' house.
Right.
And so yeah, I jumped on the opportunity to fetch myself a Black Widow when I saw I had some. And like they're just so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason I just can't wait to move Gwen into the isopod enclosure, because her current enclosure is pretty like foggy.
Yeah, it's not a good display enclosure.
It's not a good display enclosure, no. So I want to take her. I want to show her off.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is my words. Come on now, brain. This is my Black Widow. Her name is Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Spider-Man fans out there. Gwen Stacy.
Right. I might get a heat lamp for that enclosure eventually, because like the mushrooms aren't taking off, but I wasn't really expecting them to. I was just sort of hoping they would. So, if I can like cut a hole out in the foil that I have over the enclosure to keep the humidity in, I could totally like just put in a lamp.
Yeah, obviously something that's not too crazy in the heat wattage, because even though the hissers could take some pretty good heat, I don't think Gwen would be too happy about it, or
Gwen
the
or the
isopods.
Gwen or the isopods, yeah. Let's see.
Music hour.
Yes.
All right, Lucille, I'm gonna put you back in with your kids.
Yeah, the issue is like finding a bulb that isn't like a heat bulb.
Yeah, you want like an ambient, like regular light bulb
Yeah,
almost,
yeah, yeah.
or maybe LED, like an LED strip.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That would work. Well, it couldn't be a strip because I still need to retain humidity.
Yeah, I'm just throwing the ideas out there.
But I could find a bulb.
Yes.
Ugh. Oh my god, why is my nose behaving like this? It's
Mine's
rude.
running too, but I attribute that to allergies.
It's rude.
Mm-hmm.
0 out of 10.
Yeah, right.
Flukers. I am loath to get another Flukers heat lamp because the last two heat lamps or last two lamp fixtures from Flukers that I've gotten have busted. One of them very spectacularly.
That's interesting because the lamp that I have right now for the males is a Fluker's lamp, and I've had that thing for like 3 years. So it somehow has worked fine for me.
Well, my first one just decided to break, and then my second one exploded.
Baby, you're a fun. No.
It freaked me the fuck out because that was my heart attack moment because like I turned on the lamp, it exploded, and I like rushed to the enclosure and I saw a wire in the little water dish I have below it, and Castiel was near it and was not moving.
Oh yeah, I would have had a heart attack then, be like, oh my god, did I just electrocute my snake?
Yeah, I opened it. I was like, Cass, no, Cass, and I took him out of the enclosure, and he was like, what?
Like you gave him the mild freak. I was like, oh no, what happened?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right. He was like almost done shedding, and so he was like not moving, and also like hadn't completed shedding. So I was like, fuck.
You're like, I just stressed the hell out of this poor baby.
Mm-hmm. I'm also not getting anything from Reptizoo.
Reptizoo is cursed.
Reptizoo is cursed. Sure Zilla might have something. Zilla. Oh, there we go. Lighting and heating, just what I needed. Excuse me.
Beautiful.
Ooh, halogen mini dome. Oh, it's halogen.
I have a halogen mini dome for the female hissers. That I actually like better than like the big bulb domes. Personally,
Yeah, but
at least.
it's halogen though. Might produce too much heat.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the light bulb that I have in right now for the lady hissers, I forget the wattage. I know I have the thing in my closet. but it's a lower wattage.
Oh, mini LED plant bulb.
Oh, there you go.
Ah!
Yeah.
Rude! Pro Soul fixtures? What the hell is that thing? The newest technology in reptile lighting is here.
Mhm.
Ooh,
So this prob-
customizable heat, UVB, and UVA all in one. Huh. Probably costs a lot of money.
this probably a good spot for me to end the stream here because my phone is dying.
Okay.
Because yeah, streaming takes a lot of power out of my phone.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, so I hope everybody has a good Friday and have a good weekend.
Have a good time, everybody.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.